Hey everybody, it's me, it's Connor, as you can see. Uh, Before I do anything, I have to give you guys a little disclaimer. About 15 minutes ago, we had a power blip, and that means the internet failed. It freaked us out because our lights automatically turned on. We have Google Home, and so it wasn't supposed to, and we thought it was a ghost, but it wasn't a ghost. It was just power blip. So, if we just go offline out of nowhere in the middle of a sentence, we're sorry. We don't know what it was, if it was just a spontaneous power blip, if a power line had a freak out session. We don't know. So, there's that. Second of all, I have a dog right here and a cat who is currently on catnip, so he's sedated behind me. If at any point you see a wild dog or a wild cat, I'm sorry, I can't control that either. So, there's all those things. So today, for the devotionals, as you guys have probably remembered for the last few times that I've been doing this, I've wanted to go over the basics. We went over the last Thursday. We went over the 10 Commandments, and before that, we went over the fruits of the Spirit. And I explained that I felt like God was saying that sometimes, especially in this day and age, we get so caught up in the semantics of being a Christian that we forget what it's really like to go back and learn the fundamentals and the basics and the roots of what it means to be a Christian. And so I felt like I needed to go over that. And like I also mentioned, I said, I know most of you guys know all this. I know this. I know that the people who watch this, you've read it 100 times. But even so, it should never get to a point where it's mundane. It should never get to the point where it's just book knowledge. It should never get to the point where you're like the Ten Commandments. Yeah, they're the 10 Commandments. Because that's what we live by. You should never get to the point where you're like, oh yeah, the fruits of the Spirit. That's, the fruits of the Spirit. No, that's what we're literally supposed to represent as Christians. And so it's easy to take those roots, take that core meal of biblical knowledge, and kind of forget about it for some of the more fancy things, like going into ministry and what different ministries look like, and prophecy, and those are the things that you can delve into deeper. But so today, I want to go over the Beatitudes. A lot of people say that when you are first talking to a Christian, I've heard of a baby Christian, someone who's just recently converted, I've heard that you should have them read Genesis, Revelation, John, and then go through the Gospels. But I have always loved the book of Matthew. For more than just this, but this is where we see the Beatitudes. We're in Matthew 5. If you guys want to get there, the Beatitudes, if you don't know there, Matthew 5, and it starts in 3. It's the Sermon on the Mount, and it's one of the most well-known things that Jesus himself said. So I'm going to start from 5:1, just to give you guys a little background, and then we're going to get into it. It says, when Jesus saw the crowds, he went up onto the mountain, and after he sat down, his disciples came to him. He opened his mouth, and he began to teach, saying, so that's your background. The crowds came, his disciples came, so he got up and he started teaching, he started preaching, and this is what he said. This is the first time we see Jesus get up and preach to the multitude. It says, blessed are the poor in spirit, for theirs is the kingdom in heaven. Blessed, let me say that again. Blessed are the poor in spirit. That doesn't mean that you're not in the spirit. That doesn't mean you're badly in the spirit. That means blessed are those who are poor by themselves. Me, as Connor, I am nothing, but with the Spirit, with God's Spirit, I am everything, for I am going to be the one who inherits the kingdom of God, the kingdom of heaven. Blessed are those who mourn, for they shall be comforted. We live in America, where we're told that we have exactly 24 hours to mourn, and then we're expected to be back on our normal schedule the day after. But it says here, if you mourn openly, you'll be comforted. This is also amazing because this is how we're supposed to talk to God. We said, blessed are those who are poor in spirit, so we have to be spirit-filled. Blessed are those who mourn. Sometimes I feel like we think we're not allowed to cry out to God. God, I'm upset. God, I'm angry. God, I don't know what to do. God, why did you take this relative away from me? That's mourning. And it says that those who mourn, he will comfort. That's a core fundamental. This is one of the very first things that Jesus preaches to people. That it's okay to mourn because he'll comfort you. Blessed are the gentle, for they shall inherit the earth. Which is pretty contradictory to what pretty much everybody in any civilization says, that you have to take things by force, that you have to be cruel, you have to be, that's how you get powerful. But this is different. This is saying that the gentle are going to be the ones who inherit the earth, the ones who don't succumb to their emotions, the ones who they're not cruel, they're not hateful, they're gentle. And I think it's really interesting that they use the word gentle, because gentle is so much more powerful than, say, passive. Gentle. You can be gentle and correct somebody. You can be gentle and discipline somebody. It's about your character of what you're doing. You will inherit the earth. Blessed are those who hunger and thirst for righteousness, for they shall be satisfied. If you look for something, you'll find it. If you look for hate in this world, you'll find it everywhere. If you look for loneliness in this world, you'll find it everywhere. If you look for whatever, you'll find it. If you look for righteousness, you'll be satisfied. If you seek to be righteous, you'll be satisfied. If you surround yourself with people who are righteous and right standing with God, you will be satisfied. You will live a fulfilled, satisfied lifestyle. Blessed are those who are merciful, for they shall receive mercy. Blessed are those who forgive. Blessed are those. Mercy literally means to not get what you do deserve. What I mean by that is what we deserve as humans is hell. That is the one and only thing we deserve. But because we have a God who's full of mercy, he doesn't give us what we do deserve. What I mean by that is forgive that person who stole $20 from you. Be merciful upon them. Be merciful upon that person who called you a really bad name in traffic and you heard them. Be merciful to the person who wronged you. Because in that, God will see that and God will work that, and you will receive mercy for your wrongs in the future. Blessed are those who are pure in heart, for they shall see God. Blessed are those who are in right standing with God. Blessed are those who don't think ill will towards others. Blessed are those who don't have... And I don't mean that when you get cut off in traffic and your initial reaction is to yell. No, you can tame that thought. And that's what it's saying. The pure in the heart doesn't talk about instant reactions. It talks about, do you tame your emotions? Do you tame your thoughts? Do you hold them captive, like it says later when Paul writes that we should take every thought captive? Are you pure in heart? Or do you kind of let it think whatever it wants to? Do you give into the flesh? If you are impure in heart, it says this, look at this, you will see God. My entire life is about wanting to see God. I will never see him on this earth. And if I do, I'm not doing something right. Probably because he's here to smite me. But I can't wait to see him in heaven because I was pure in heart. Blessed are the peacemakers, for they shall be called the sons of God. Peacemaker is a word that we have as society we've deemed as people such as our police, our military, etc. That's all fine, but blessed are the ones who see two people arguing and want to help them. Blessed are the ones who see a disagreement and they want to be that neutral third party who finds the middle ground. They're the ones who don't stir conflict. They're the ones who seek out conflict in the hopes to make it better. They are the ones who will be called the sons of God. Blessed are those who have been persecuted for the sake of righteousness. Blessed are those who have been persecuted. Blessed are those who've been made fun of for being a Christian, who have been called bad names for being a Christian. And I don't just mean using the title Christian, because anybody can put the title Christian on their Facebook page. Anybody can say that they're a Christian. Anybody can type that out in a text, in an email, from a podium. Anybody can say it. But blessed are those who have been made fun of for how they act as a Christian. It says, because yours is the kingdom in heaven. Blessed are those who have been persecuted for the sake of righteousness, for you will inherit the kingdom of heaven. Think about that, folks. You will be made fun of. Nobody. We oftentimes buy into the lie that says as soon as you become a Christian, your life will be perfect. Oftentimes we tell that lie to people because we misconfuse the fact that Jesus is there for us for perfection in our life. That's not the case. But what I will tell you is that it's not bad. It hurts. It's no fun, but it's not a bad thing when you are made fun of for being a Christian. Blessed are you when people insult you and persecute you, and they falsely say all kinds of evil against you because of Jesus. Because of me, he says. Because this is red letters, this is Jesus talking. Rejoice and be glad, for your reward in heaven is great. For in the same way they persecuted the prophets who were before you. This is the very first thing that Jesus decided was important to say in a sermon-style message to the people. This is what Jesus said. This is what everybody who's a pastor usually gets judged by their first and their arguably their best sermon. And this is what Jesus said. I want my first sermon to be this. I want my first sermon to be telling people that it's okay to mourn, it's okay to be gentle, it's okay to be poor but in the spirit, it's okay to seek righteousness, it's okay to be made fun of for me and for my sake. What he's saying is that all these things, these are the things I think on the level of basics, these are the things that I think our flesh struggles with. And he says, but if you just be them, if you just be gentle, even when your flesh doesn't want you to be gentle, if you just seek righteousness, even though you kind of want to be spiteful, if you just seek to mourn in the face of God when you just want to be reckless and angry, that you'll be blessed. And when Jesus uses the word blessed, it means something. It doesn't just mean when your good old Southern mom says, "Oh, bless your heart." No, we're not talking about that. We're talking about real Jesus blessings here. Just like with the 10 Commandments and the fruits of the Spirit, there's power in meditating on the Word. There's power in meditating on the 10 Commandments. There's power in meditating on the fruits of the Spirit. And just like that, there's real power in meditating on the Beatitudes. There's real power on meditating on Matthew 5. And so, folks, I'm going to ask you, until the next time I see you, to be meditating on this. To be waking up every morning, like I said, instead of reading, whatever, go ahead and read this. Go ahead and read this and ask yourself, do you need to mourn today? Do you need to seek righteousness today? Do you need to be gentle today? Focus on these things and pray for these things. Pray these things over your life. And I can guarantee you will see blessing in your life. And when I say that, I don't just mean you're going to get money, you're going to get good news, God will bless you in a way that you're least expecting. And so with that, folks, I'm going to leave you with right there. I say this every time. If you have a prayer request, you can text me, you can text Ashley, Pastor, Cindy, everybody. And like I said last time, if you are feeling a call for a specific individual to pray over you, that's probably God. And don't be afraid to ask that person. I've had random people just enter my heart, and I just felt like I need so-and-so to pray for me. There's a reason. I don't know what it is, but there is a reason, and it might not even be for you. It might be for that other person. So don't be afraid to ask for prayer. I am constantly praying for you. Please pray for me. Please pray for the leadership continuing. We have a lot of hard decisions to make. Seems like COVID is... Nobody in this world was ready for it, obviously. And so responding to it, everybody has a different opinion. And we have to try to filter through all those to find the right choice. So pray for the leadership. And give everybody cyber hugs, because you're supposed to still social distance. So, Eloise, I love the promises in the Beatitudes too. Just responding to your comment there. With that, have a good rest of your week, and I'll see you the next time I see you.